Hello and welcome to Bleeding Tree Gaming.
Hello.
Hello. Yes, you're used to going first, so you have to sneak in there. I'm Tammy, aka the Autumn Witch, and
Just
I'm
trying to
joined.
keep the energy up. Not that you're having any issues with it. Not at all what I'm suggesting, but you know what I mean. Let's get into it.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to do, Amy. Introduce yourself. Go on.
I'm Amy, aka Warpfiend.
And today we are looking at Sunday's preview, which has some cool stuff, especially stuff that I've been waiting quite a while for. So first thing that they've announced, and this is all the stuff that's going up for pre-order this coming Saturday. First off, we have the Solar Auxilia Battle Group box with all of these extra steampunky goodness, which yeah. Now I'm assuming that, like the Legiones Astartes battle group, that this is going to be kind of a limited release as this box set, but then everything else will be available pretty quickly individually. But yeah, let's have a
yeah.
So we've got like the new Lehman Russ, which I really want to get my hands on. I might have to 3D print some sponsons for it, but as a command tank for Imperial Guard, I think that will look really good. There's the
oh yeah.
There's the walking refrigerator.
Oh, I love it. It's just so crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's. I believe this is previously available in Forge World resin.
Yep, and I believe GW actually showed off a couple more variants of the those chassis.
Yeah,
this week.
I mean, I would be interested to see if there's any like different build options within the kit, or if it's going to be like the Space Marine tanks, where you've got sprues in common, but depending on the box you buy, it's got different elements to it. Like with the Spartan and the Land Raider and the.
I mean, it does seem a sensible way of doing things. I don't see why they deviate from that successful template that they've started from, but who knows?
Yeah. But I believe they've put the actual sprues up somewhere, but this is just an overview. So yeah, I mean, the battle group, if you want it, but you can't get enough money together to order it, because this is gonna be, I reckon, about 140 quid.
Probably, yeah.
If there's, it'll be easy enough to just buy bits separately within the next month or so. But yeah, and look, they've got some over expensive dice as well.
I will say they're nice and simple ones. They haven't gone over the top with ridiculous things on every number that you can't actually read.
Yeah, but
they're probably going to be expensive.
They're simple dice. They'll be about 20 quid for the pack. I mean,
easily.
I mean, when I walk into a Warhammer store, into Warhammer World, and I think, oh, I've got 20 quid. What can I spend it on? It's not going to be a pack of dice.
That's fair enough. I know people who do love getting all the faction dice. I'm indifferent. I'll pick them up every now and then because it's nice to have a fancy one to just differentiate your wounds from other people on the table.
Yeah, I mean, the Death Guard ones you've got are absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. But I wouldn't use them for actual rolling, but for keeping track of your wounds, like, you're not going to get that mixed up with your opponent.
Yeah. I mean, even if there isn't anything else for 20 quid in there, I'm probably just going to get lunch at Bugman's.
Yes,
buying a load of dice. But yeah, if this is your thing, cool, you're getting some specific dice. But now I want to look at, surprise, surprise, some Space Marines, which were announced. I mean, this one, I think this is the first one that was announced of the ones we're going to look at in about September, October last year, and it's taken months, and it's annoyed me because I'm a White Scars player, and this dude is a White Scar. Well, he's a Stormseer Consul, which is basically a White Scar librarian, and he's like the thing I need to finish my 2,000 point White Scars army. And I mean, he's in Forge World Resin, which now
nowhere near as bad as the Finecast stuff.
Finecast is just utter gash,
and it seems to have got a big improvement lately. The Forge World Resin, a lot of people. I haven't bought a kit from there in quite a while, but I hear the new kits are really on par with a lot of other like high-end resin manufacturers.
Yeah, they have really upped their game. So I'm really excited for this. I'm really excited for the fact that whereas in 40k the Space Marines seem to be getting more and more generic, that in Horus Heresy we're getting some actual flavor back. I mean,
oh yeah,
I mean, obviously, White Scars player. I'm a White Scars player. I'm an Ultramarines player. If I want Ultramarines, I'm spoiled for choice with 40k. But I mean, you get.
Hey, this guy could make a good Chaos Sorcerer with all that trim on his armor.
He could, and that's what I love about the White Scars. You can. I mean, it may require a little bit of a modification, but you could utilize some really cool Chaos Space Marine parts for them.
Particularly if you're going for like a librarian of a chapter that's just recently fallen to chaos and maybe isn't quite so mutated and out there.
Yeah. I mean, I love this guy. I mean, in 40k we've got Kasaro Khan, and that's it. We've got Kasaro Khan and a Primaris upgrade sprue, and that's it. And White Scars are a very distinct aesthetic, which is often at odds with the ever increasing genericness. So
yes, I mean there's a lot of Chaos Space Marine chapters that would also say the same. Legions rather.
Yeah.
Word Bearers, Alpha Legion, Iron Warriors don't have a single character. Named character at least.
Yeah. Now, if we move on to the next character that's coming out, I love this guy. I may have to grab him for my my Heresy era Emperor's Children, because his role is essentially he rocks up to he's like the emissary from Horus, Dark Emissary Consul, and Horus basically sends him to the other traitor chapters to make sure they're traitoring properly. But
it's a really good model. I really like it. And again, obviously, Chaos, even more so because it's got the massive Eye of Horus on the chest. It's just, really stunning model. There's loads of roles you could put this in if you moved it to 40k. I'm imagining like Master of Possession, maybe, or just a standard sorcerer.
Maybe.
Dark Apostle,
Yeah. Fantastic model.
You could even swap out that staff for a giant axe and make him a Master of Executions.
Yeah, that also sounds pretty damn good. But yeah, it's just such a great model. I'm glad that these models are coming out. Now, I was a little surprised here, the Apothecarian detachment, in that it's a pack of 2 as opposed to 2 separate.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I mean, they're both cool models and will be handy to have. I really like the one that's in Mark V armor.
Yeah, we've been seeing Mark V crop up recently now and then in some of the individual models. So I'm wondering if the next armor mark that's going to get a plastic release would be Mark V. Because
it would be good.
Yeah, I mean, Mark VI has got the wonderful bonding studs on the left shoulder pad, but Mark V, they love it.
It's just patchwork everywhere, and you can see why they've left it to last. I mean, it's always been one of the less well-defined ones because of its kind of patchwork nature, where they just kind of scavenge whatever parts of armor marks they could find. But that distinctive helmet, from kind of the old kind of hound, like Warhound days, when it was based on kind of World Eaters. Yeah, they've never really done too many before, and then recently we've seen a couple of the helmets pop up, a couple of the armor marks, and yeah, I'm all for it.
Yeah, love it, love it, love it. I mean, 2 apothecaries in a list, even in 40k, can be useful. They can be added in 40k. Apothecaries can be added to a unit that already has a character attached, so it does things like, you know, pick up casualties or gives a feel no pain save or that kind of thing. So yeah, and 2 of them. I mean, I would probably, if I got these, I would definitely have at least one for the White Scars, and I would be using them in 40k. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. I am more drawn towards the Horus Heresy aesthetic at the moment than I am to pretty much anything in 40k, because they're just, this is coming straight off the artwork that we've been looking at for decades.
Oh yes, yeah.
Whereas 40k is it's trying to look a bit more sort of comic booky.
I mean, they have, to be fair to them, there have been a lot of character models that have been based really heavily on classic artwork, but I can see where you're coming from. Yeah,
it's more like the like generic infantry and such. Space Marines should not be dull to look at. Okay, but now we're going to have a look at the releases for the old world, and there's some interesting stuff in here. First, the Tomb King, or Necklace Bone Dragon, is getting its individual release. I know a lot of people were concerned that in order to get it, they'd have to buy the army starter box, which is very, very pricey.
It is a bit.
Yeah, and if you wanted to get both armies, yeah, you'd be getting 2 copies of a very expensive rule book and such. So yeah, the fact that it's all coming out individually is pretty good.
Isn't too great of a gap between the original release and this, like a month or so? Is that it?
Yeah, pretty much. And I mean, it's called the Necklace Bone Dragon. I just call it the Croc Dragon because it's basically a crocodile, but it's also got a nice little build option. And I like it when GW do this, where where a kit comes with like another unit or the ability to build another unit. I love it. I love it with the Necrons that it comes with Scarabs. I love it with Termagants because it comes with Rippers, and I like that here as well because you're paying however much you're going to pay for it, but you're getting like another unit, another optional unit in there, which is really cool. I like that. But now we've got the Emissary of Cetra, which is Forge World resin, looking very screamy. And
this is, of course, the old model, I believe. That's been remastered, as they've done with all these sculpts.
Yeah, well, and we'll talk about the remastering shortly as well, because they've provided some examples here. Tomb King's returning plastics. Got the option of you get 36 in a box. I mean, I've been saying for a while that the old world to Age of Sigmar is kind of what Horus Heresy is to 40k, that it's winding the setting back. And with Horus Heresy, the infantry that you get is in larger units. You get like 20 tactical marines in Heresy as opposed to 10 in 40k. You get 10 assault dudes with jump packs in Heresy, whereas in 40k you get 5 in a box. So it's very much focused on like being quite infantry heavy, and it's the old plastics with lots of build options. You get 36 miniatures in here. You can build them all as skeleton warriors or skeleton archers. Options for command, retinues, and standard bearers, champions, musicians, etc. Now, with this, you could build like a whole block, so you do all of them as one type. And if you're sneaky with a 3D printer, you can print out some skeleton bodies and use the rest of the kit. So it's not a case of wasting. I mean, you can get like skeletons, plastic skeletons anywhere, really. I don't think you're considered like a proper miniature making company if you don't do like at least some.
Yeah, I really want to pick up some of these because these old ones were just great for conversions, and I mentioned this in the podcast before, but like a lot of companies do them. Like these plastic ones were just so handy for kind of cutting up and leaving bits of skeletal remains around bases and stuff.
Yeah,
I need to get myself some.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping it's it's not going to be massively expensive, but I think it's going to be about 45 quid, I'd say. But if it's more than that, I'll be disappointed. If it's less than that, I'll be surprised.
Fair enough.
But yeah, now we've got some more returning kits here.
The classic chariots.
Yeah. So you got lots of build options. You got the goofy old horses, which look really cool, even though they are a bit goofy. Yeah, those are coming back. Now I've got some metals returning, and I'm quite.
Cetra.
Yeah,
I am. Cetra? I think that's just a generic one. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, they're actually bringing back metals now. I'm wondering because anything that they've made recently in metal has been like a made to order version of an old kit. So are we looking at this is going to come to made to order, or it's going to be a limited run? I don't know. I mean, it doesn't say so here, but if they are going back to the to regularly making metal models for release, like wide release, then I think that opens up some really cool possibilities, not just for the old world, but maybe some nostalgia will kick in for some 40k stuff.
Always love to see the old sculpts get love.
Yeah, and we've got the resin remasters where the kits have not only been upgraded, they've also been modified to make them easier to build.
I believe some of them were like unreleased test sculpts as well that never made it to launch.
Yeah, now what we've got is stuff that was released as metal being released now as Forge World resin. So I'm curious. I mean, they've obviously had to modify the molds to remaster them. So these will be new molds from old masters. But I'm interested to see how the old metal sculpts work with Forge World resin, because when they switched over to resin from metal, it was fine cast, and as we all know, fine cast is a big crock of crap. So.
Well, there was a previous article on this where they talked through it in some depth, where they said there was actually kind of resculpting on the original masters to sharpen up detail. Where there wasn't, they like painstakingly like recreated masters from molded versions, like made their own new masters in effect. Yeah, now, so it sounds like a lot of work has gone into these.
Yeah, it's no like sort of flash in the pan. Oh, we'll just dig the old molds out and bung some stuff out. Now, you've got these carrion dudes, two of which are original models, and one of them is a brand new third sculpt that they've done in keeping. Now, I don't know the old range well enough to know which is the new one, which goes to show just how well the new one fits in with the other two.
I'm not entirely sure. No.
Yeah, I mean, the one top right maybe looks a little more modern in its posing, but
interesting.
I don't know. Yeah.
No, I wouldn't want to hazard a guess.
No, I mean, my eye is drawn there, but I don't know why. Now we're on to Bretonnians. And we get the Knights on Foot, which I believe comes in the army set.
Right, yes, yeah, I believe so.
Now we have the Lord with Great Weapon. This is an unreleased model.
This one's been controversial.
I mean, his face has been made entirely out of triangles.
Yeah. I mean, it's not the most perfect face, but it's a lovely model, and that's part of the charm of hand sculpts. Like, occasionally one's a little weird, and I think you could paint that to kind of get over it a bit. I don't think the big triangle on his head is helping the shape of his eyes.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of looks like Christopher Lee when they made him up as Fu Manchu.
Oh, like dear.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think the heavy eyeliner might be slightly marring the what's originally there. But yeah, Knights of the Realm, these are coming out separately as well. And
lovely.
Now back to the returning metals, which again, they don't say anything about them being a limited run or made to order. So hopefully these will be all metal, or I'm sure there are certain bits that aren't, maybe here like the shield or something.
Yes.
But yeah, so we're getting some metals back, which is always fun. And we are getting the prophetesses of the lady, who are
and there's the Green Knight.
And the Green Knight.
Now, I very much thought we'd be getting a new Green Knight, but it is nice to see one returning as well.
Yeah, I mean, they are clearly leaning very heavily into the nostalgia.
Oh yes, and that is a lovely model, to be fair.
It is. I mean, isn't there an AOS model that could easily be turned into the Green Knight? I seem to remember there was a new horsey dude at some point recently.
Oh, there's multiple, but I think the Cities of Sigmar mounted lord or whatever the character was.
Yeah. Now, looks absolutely fantastic. Now, those are all the new models, but White Dwarf is coming out, and it's got some new rules for combat patrol and such. So that's your thing. Black Library is getting a couple of things, and a load of classic codex and army list books are getting art prints of the covers. I'm pretty
very cool.
Yeah, I'm sure that the original artists will not be credited because it's Games Workshop, and on Warhammer Plus some stuff's going on. So, but yeah, that was our Sunday preview. I'm very excited for the new Heresy Space Marines, especially the White Scar dude, and this dude, and these dudes, and the sorry, I just sneezed very loudly there.
Oh dear. Bless you.
It's probably all the dust that's being kicked up by the Tomb Kings.
Yes,
But yeah, so we've got like the individual releases of the Tomb Kings and Bretonnians, and that's all really good, and hopefully that future armies, I believe the next box is meant to be Orcs and Goblins, which
I think that's something that people are very excited about. Obviously, one of the biggest armies. Well, Orcs are always like one of the biggest armies in whatever setting, because everyone loves Orcs.
Yeah, they are ridiculous in all the right ways. Well, anyway, that's our look at the Sunday preview, and we're all a little bit excited about some of it. So yeah, we shall head off, and we shall catch you next time here on Bleeding Tree Gaming.
It has been fun. See you in the next one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.